Welcome, my favorite people, the rare gems. Have you ever wondered why some women seem to play it cool, almost as if they do not fully understand what is going on, yet later you realize they were the sharpest mind in the room all along? That is the quiet mystery of Sigma females. They do not rush to prove themselves, they do not show all their cards at once, and they certainly do not waste time trying to compete for attention. Instead, they master the art of appearing unbothered, even a little clueless, while their minds are steadily collecting details, analyzing situations, and quietly staying 3 steps ahead. This way of moving through the world is not weakness, it is wisdom. Many people confuse silence for ignorance, but for Sigma females, silence is a strategy. They know when to let others reveal themselves, when to ask the right question, and when to simply watch without saying a word. This gives them an advantage that most people never see coming. If you are a Sigma female, understand that your ability to appear calm while holding deep insight is not just rare, it is powerful. You are not behind, you are not overlooked, and you are certainly not clueless. You are simply playing the long game, one that only a few truly know how to master. And the truth is, you are always a step ahead, even when people think you are not. Let's dive into it and explore together. Number 1. They understand that pretending not to know everything often reveals more about others than asking direct questions ever could. Most people rush to prove how much they know. They want to speak first, dominate the conversation, or show off facts as if intelligence is measured by volume. Sigma females take the opposite approach. They know that pretending not to know everything often reveals more about others than asking direct questions ever could. Think about it. When you ask someone a question directly, they immediately sense they are being tested. Their answers may come out filtered, rehearsed, or cautious. But when someone assumes you do not know much, they feel free to talk without restraint. They lower their guard. And in that space, they reveal their real thoughts, unpolished opinions, and even their hidden intentions. For example, imagine a workplace meeting where a Sigma female is quiet while others throw around big ideas. A colleague might assume she does not fully understand the details and start over-explaining, adding unnecessary information. That is where the magic happens. By holding back, she collects information that others would have never shared if they knew she was following every detail. Suddenly, she has a fuller picture than anyone else in the room, simply because she chose not to announce how much she already knew. This approach works in personal life, too. In friendships, people often open up more when they feel they are the knowledgeable one. A Sigma female lets them talk, listening closely, nodding, sometimes even asking innocent-sounding questions. The more the other person explains, the clearer their patterns become. She learns their fears, their motivations, and even their weaknesses. What makes this strategy brilliant is that it is subtle. It does not provoke defenses. It does not create tension. It feels harmless, yet it delivers layers of insight that no direct confrontation could uncover. This is why Sigma females often end up holding the sharpest understanding in any group. They are not clueless. They are strategic observers who know that sometimes the smartest move is to let others underestimate you. Number 2. They know that appearing harmless keeps them underestimated, which gives them more space to maneuver without interference. In a world where many people fight to appear dominant, Sigma females take the opposite route. They understand that power often works best when it is invisible. By appearing harmless, even a little naive at times, they create a sense of safety around themselves. People assume they are no threat, and that underestimation becomes their greatest advantage. Think about how children can sometimes overhear things adults would never say in front of another adult. Why? Because children are underestimated. They are seen as innocent, incapable of fully grasping what is being said. Sigma females use a similar effect. When others dismiss them as harmless, the walls come down, and they gain access to spaces and truths that would otherwise remain guarded. For example, in a workplace, an overly assertive person may be seen as competition. Colleagues will withhold information, guard their plans, and measure their words. But with a Sigma female who seems easygoing, colleagues feel safe sharing more openly. She hears things not meant for sharp competitors. That relaxed trust gives her a clear advantage. She sees the bigger picture without ever forcing her way into it. This approach also works in personal life. Friends, strangers, even rivals are less cautious around someone they think is harmless. They drop hints, reveal secrets, and sometimes even confess mistakes, believing she will not use the information against them. But while she may not expose it, she stores it. Quietly, patiently, she keeps those details ready for when she needs them. The beauty of this strategy is that it buys her freedom. She can move without resistance because no one is standing in her way. She can observe, plan, and act without triggering alarms. By the time others realize she was not clueless but carefully calculating, it is already too late. Being underestimated is not an insult to a Sigma female. It is a cloak, one that shields her strength until the moment she decides to reveal it. And when she does, the shock it brings is far more powerful than if she had been fighting for recognition from the start. Number 3. They recognize that knowledge is most powerful when it is hidden until the right moment. Most people show their intelligence as soon as they have the chance. They want recognition, they want praise, and they want others to know how smart they are. Sigma females, on the other hand, understand something different. Knowledge is like a card in a game. Its value does not come from being displayed immediately, but from being revealed at the perfect time. Think about a game of chess. A great player does not reveal their final move too early. They hold it back, guiding the board slowly until the moment arrives to strike. Sigma females approach knowledge the same way. They gather details, store information, and carefully observe patterns. But they do not rush to announce what they know. Instead, they wait for the right situation, where their insight will have the greatest impact. Imagine a group project where everyone is arguing over strategies. While others rush to prove their ideas, a Sigma female might sit back listening, letting them clash. She keeps her thoughts quiet until the confusion reaches a peak. Then, with calm precision, she offers a single solution that ties everything together. Suddenly the room falls silent because her words carry weight. They carry weight because they arrived at the right moment, not lost in the noise of everyone else talking. This habit also extends to personal relationships. If a friend is making repeated mistakes, she may not immediately confront them with all she knows. She understands that advice given too early is often ignored. Instead, she waits for the moment when the friend is ready to listen. At that point, her words land with clarity and strength. The power of hidden knowledge is that it keeps her unpredictable. No one ever truly knows the depth of what she has observed or understood. And because she is not constantly showing her hand, people underestimate her. They assume she is behind, when in fact she is often several steps ahead. Sigma females understand that wisdom is not about showing off. It is about timing. A truth revealed too soon can be ignored, but a truth revealed at the right moment can change everything. That is why they guard what they know, not out of fear, but out of strategy. Number 4. They allow others to over-explain, which gives them insight into hidden intentions that would otherwise stay buried. Most people hate silence in conversations. The moment there is a pause, they rush to fill it. Sigma females know this and use it to their advantage. By staying calm and letting others talk, they create space where people begin to over-explain. And in that over-explaining, the truth almost always slips out. Imagine someone telling a simple story. If you nod quietly without interrupting, they often keep adding more details. Soon, they move from the polished version they intended to share into the raw, unfiltered parts they did not plan to reveal. That is where hidden motives, fears, or even lies start to show. Sigma females understand this better than most. They know that if you just wait, people eventually tell on themselves. For example, picture a coworker describing why a project failed. At first, they might blame external issues or vague circumstances, but when the Sigma female stays quiet, nodding as if she is following along, the coworker begins to fill the silence. They reveal small contradictions, unnecessary details, or excuses that expose the real reasons behind the failure. Without pressing them, she now knows more than anyone else in the room. This also applies to personal relationships. Someone might be trying to cover up a mistake, but when they feel they are not being challenged, they start piling up explanations. And the more they talk, the more the cracks in their story show. The Sigma female does not need to accuse or interrogate. She lets their own words unravel the truth. What makes this so effective is patience. Most people want to jump in, prove their point, or correct the story. Sigma females do the opposite. They create the silence that makes others uncomfortable enough to reveal more than they intended. By the time the conversation ends, she often has more information than she asked for. And the beauty is, the other person usually has no idea they gave it away. To them, it felt like harmless conversation. To her, it was an open book. This quiet technique shows why Sigma females are often underestimated. They do not need to press for answers. They simply wait, and sooner or later, people reveal themselves. Number 5. They realize that when people think they are clueless, they project their own arrogance, which becomes easy to study. One of the sharpest insights Sigma females have is this. When people believe someone is clueless, they start to reveal more about themselves than they ever intended. Why? Because arrogance blinds them. They assume they are smarter, sharper, and more aware, so they act without caution. Sigma females recognize this pattern and quietly let it play out. Think about a card game. When one player believes their opponent is weak, they play recklessly. They take bigger risks because they think the game is already theirs. In the same way, when someone assumes a Sigma female is clueless, they show their arrogance. They drop hints about their strategies, exaggerate their achievements, and sometimes even brag about secrets they should keep quiet. For instance, in the workplace, a colleague might think she is not sharp enough to notice office politics. Believing they are untouchable, they start gossiping openly or showing favoritism, confident she is oblivious. What they do not realize is that she is watching and collecting details. When the right time comes, she knows exactly how to navigate the system better than they ever could. This also happens in friendships or social circles. A person who underestimates her might start to dominate conversations, making bold claims or subtle insults. To them, it feels like showing superiority. To her, it is free information about their insecurities and blind spots. Every arrogant word becomes another piece of the puzzle she is putting together. What makes this dynamic so powerful is that arrogance always exposes weakness. The moment someone assumes they are smarter than her, they stop protecting themselves. They reveal exactly what drives them, what scares them, and what they are hiding. And all the while she remains calm, quietly absorbing everything. So while they see her as the clueless one, the truth is flipped. They are the ones exposing themselves. She does not need to confront, argue, or fight for dominance. She lets their arrogance do the work for her. And when the time comes, she already knows how the game will end. This is why Sigma females often stay ahead without forcing the spotlight. They do not need arrogance. They simply study it and turn it into strategy. Number 6. They understand that patience is sharper than confrontation, and waiting quietly often reveals the truth without effort. Most people are quick to confront when they feel something is wrong. They want answers immediately, so they push, argue, or demand explanations. Sigma females take a very different path. They know that patience often reveals what confrontation cannot. By waiting quietly, they allow the truth to surface on its own. Think about it. When someone is hiding something, they are prepared for confrontation. They rehearse their excuses, sharpen their defenses, and plan how to deny or redirect blame. But when no confrontation comes, they relax. Their guard slowly drops, and little by little, the truth starts to leak out. Sigma females are masters at creating this space. For example, imagine a partner who might not be fully honest. Instead of accusing them on the spot, a Sigma female observes quietly. She watches patterns, listens to small inconsistencies, and notices details others would miss. Over time, without ever needing to raise her voice, the truth exposes itself. The partner's story changes, their behavior slips, and eventually, they reveal what they were trying to hide. Her patience uncovers more than confrontation ever could. This principle also applies in professional settings. If a coworker is acting suspicious or withholding information, she does not storm in demanding answers. Instead, she gives them time. And in that time, they often trip over their own words or expose themselves through careless mistakes. Her silence becomes a mirror in which their truth reflects. The beauty of this approach is that it saves energy. While others exhaust themselves arguing and chasing answers, Sigma females conserve their strength. They know that most lies and pretenses collapse on their own if given enough space. Their patience is not weakness, it is precision. Patience also grants clarity. In the heat of confrontation, emotions run high and facts get blurred. By waiting, she keeps her vision clear. She can separate truth from noise, reality from performance. What makes this strategy remarkable is its simplicity. It requires no aggression, no drama, no exhausting battles, just calm observation, quiet endurance, and the certainty that time always reveals more than pressure. For Sigma females, patience is not passive. It is an active tool, sharper than confrontation, and it never fails to deliver the truth. Number 6. They allow others to misjudge them because those misjudgments create blind spots they can later use to their advantage. One of the quiet strengths of Sigma females is that they never rush to correct people's assumptions about them. If someone chooses to misjudge them, they allow it. Why? Because every misjudgment creates a blind spot, and blind spots are powerful tools. When people think they already know someone, they stop paying close attention. They stop looking deeper. They assume the picture is complete, even when it is not. For Sigma females, this is where the advantage begins. They let others settle into those false beliefs, and while people are busy underestimating or mislabeling them, they are moving freely in the background, unnoticed. Take the workplace as an example. A manager might misjudge a Sigma female as being too quiet or too reserved to lead. Instead of trying to prove herself immediately, she lets the manager hold on to that assumption. Meanwhile, she studies how the team works, builds strong relationships quietly, and prepares herself with solutions. When the right opportunity comes, maybe a project crisis, she steps in calmly and solves the issue. The misjudgment that once excluded her suddenly works in her favor because no one saw her capability coming. In personal life, this shows up too. A friend or relative might assume she is too detached to notice certain dynamics. They might believe she is naive about relationships or blind to manipulation, but by letting them believe that, she gets to see the real intentions behind their actions. When the mask eventually falls, she is never surprised. She already saw it coming because their misjudgment gave her a clear view of their blind spot. The truth is, misjudgments say more about the person making them than about the Sigma female herself. People reveal their own biases, insecurities, and limited thinking through the way they misinterpret others. Sigma females know this, so they treat misjudgments as free information. What others see as weakness, she sees as cover. And what others dismiss as cluelessness is actually her cloak of invisibility. She understands that every wrong assumption someone makes about her only makes it easier for her to move unnoticed, gather insight, and strike with precision when the time is right. Number 7. They understand that not every battle needs to be fought in the open, and sometimes quiet observation wins the war. One of the most misunderstood traits of Sigma females is their ability to hold back when others expect them to fight. People often think strength means rushing into every conflict, proving a point, or defending yourself at all costs. But Sigma females see it differently. They know that not every battle is worth fighting in the open. In fact, some battles are best won by quietly watching and waiting. Imagine someone trying to provoke her with harsh words. The common reaction would be to argue back, defend, or match the energy. But instead of wasting her strength on noise, she studies the situation. She listens carefully, takes note of what is being said, and allows the other person to keep talking. In that moment, the aggressor thinks they are winning because she is not responding. What they do not realize is that every word is giving her more insight into how they think, what drives them, and where their weaknesses lie. In the workplace, this approach is even more powerful. Office politics often push people into unnecessary fights for recognition, territory, or influence. Sigma females rarely waste energy on such battles. They watch the pattern, study how people move, and wait for the right time to make a decisive contribution. While others exhaust themselves in petty wars, she conserves her strength for the moment that truly matters. And when that moment comes, her move is not just effective, it is unforgettable. The same is true in personal life. Arguments in relationships, for instance, can sometimes become repetitive and draining. Instead of turning every disagreement into a loud showdown, Sigma females often choose silence. They observe the bigger picture, ask themselves what the real issue is, and address it at the right time with clarity instead of emotion. That way they are not just reacting to noise, they are solving the root of the problem. Quiet observation may look passive to the untrained eye, but it is far from it. It is an active strategy that collects information, saves energy, and protects peace. And in the long run, it wins more wars than open confrontation ever could. Sigma females know this truth well. The loudest fighter does not always win. The sharpest observer usually does. Number 8. They practice the art of selective ignorance because not reacting to everything keeps them in control. One of the smartest habits Sigma females have is knowing when not to respond. In a world where people feel pressured to react to every comment, every slight, and every piece of drama, Sigma females choose a different path. They practice selective ignorance. This does not mean they are blind or unaware. It means they deliberately choose what deserves their energy and what does not. For example, if someone throws a subtle insult during a conversation, most people would snap back immediately. But a Sigma female may act as if she did not even hear it. She knows that acknowledging the insult gives the other person power. By ignoring it, she denies them the satisfaction of a reaction. In fact, silence in that moment often leaves the other person more unsettled than if she had fought back. Selective ignorance is not about weakness. It is about strategy. When you refuse to react to every provocation, you stay in control of the situation. You are not dragged into unnecessary conflicts, and you save your energy for moments that actually matter. Sigma females are masters at this. They let go of meaningless noise and focus on what will truly move them forward. In friendships or relationships, this same principle keeps her balanced. Instead of overreacting to every misunderstanding or mistake, she knows when to let small things slide. This prevents unnecessary drama and keeps her grounded. By not reacting to everything, she gains perspective. She can see what is important and what is simply a distraction. Even in professional life, selective ignorance is powerful. Office gossip, petty competition, or small criticisms do not shake her. She knows that reacting would only pull her into a game she has no interest in playing. By ignoring it, she rises above the noise while others waste their energy fighting over scraps. This practice keeps her centered. It gives her freedom from manipulation because no one can easily push her buttons. People may try, but when they see she does not react, they lose their hold. That is the quiet strength of selective ignorance. It is not indifference, it is mastery over one's own energy. Sigma females understand this better than most. They know the simple truth. Not everything deserves a response, and by choosing silence wisely, they win without even lifting a hand. Number 9. They know that people reveal more when they feel superior, and Sigma females purposely invite that feeling. One of the clever ways Sigma females outsmart others is by allowing people to believe they are on higher ground. When someone feels superior, they relax, their guard drops, their ego takes over, and in that state they reveal far more than they ever intended. Sigma females understand this dynamic deeply, so they often create space where others feel like the smartest or strongest person in the room. Take an everyday conversation as an example. If a Sigma female pretends to be less informed on a topic, the other person feels an immediate rush of superiority. They start explaining in detail, adding opinions, and sharing insider knowledge. They feel proud to be the one with more expertise. But what they do not realize is that in trying to prove their superiority, they are giving away valuable information. She listens, absorbs, and later uses those insights far more wisely than they ever could. This is not manipulation, It is observation. People naturally want to feel important, and when they do, they overshare. Imagine a colleague bragging about their achievements, assuming she is impressed. In their eagerness to shine, they also expose insecurities, flaws in their story, or even strategies they should have kept private. To them, it feels like harmless boasting. To her, it is a clear map of how they operate. This same principle works in personal relationships too. Someone might think she is too soft to notice their hidden agenda. Believing they are the one in control, they let their arrogance show. They underestimate her, not realizing she is watching and learning with every word. The brilliance of this approach lies in its subtlety. By stepping back and letting others feel superior, Sigma females never need to push or pry. People willingly hand over their truths, thinking they are showing off. What is really happening is that they are painting a full picture of themselves for her to study. By the time others realize she was never clueless, it is too late. She already knows how they think, where they are vulnerable, and what drives them. That is the quiet genius of Sigma females. They win not by demanding control, but by letting others believe they already have it. Number 10. They keep their intelligence layered, so no one sees the full depth of what they are capable of. Sigma females understand that revealing everything about themselves is not wise. Instead, they keep their intelligence layered, like pages in a book that only they know how to open. Each layer shows just enough to blend in, but never the whole story. This approach keeps people guessing, underestimating, and often misreading them. Think about how most people present themselves. They show off their strengths right away, hoping to gain recognition. The problem with this is that once people see everything you have, they know how to compete with you, block you, or copy you. Sigma females avoid this trap. They show one layer at a time, keeping the deeper parts of their intelligence private until the right moment. For example, in a team setting, she might allow others to believe she only understands a small part of the project. She listens quietly while others argue over solutions. Then, when things get complicated, she reveals another layer, a clear, well-thought-out idea that solves the problem. Everyone is caught off guard because they assumed she was only working on the surface. What they did not realize was that she had been holding back, keeping her knowledge tucked away until it was most effective. This layered intelligence works in personal life too. In friendships or relationships, she may not always show the full depth of her emotional awareness. She allows people to think she is detached, when in truth she notices the small shifts in tone, the inconsistencies in words, and the hidden feelings behind someone's actions. She reveals her understanding only when it matters, leaving others stunned by how accurately she sees through them. The reason this approach is so powerful is that it protects her. When you reveal everything at once, you make yourself predictable. Sigma females know that unpredictability is strength. By keeping their intelligence layered, no one can fully map out what they are capable of. And because no one ever sees the complete picture, they cannot be controlled, manipulated, or outmaneuvered. Every layer is intentional. What she reveals is always enough to keep people curious, but never enough to give them full access to her mind. That is why she consistently stays a step ahead. Her intelligence is not on display, it is carefully guarded and released only when it matters most. Number 11. They let others think they are winning, but in truth, they are guiding the direction of the game. One of the most fascinating things about Sigma females is the way they let others believe they are in control. They do not fight for the spotlight or rush to prove themselves. Instead, they step back, watch, and allow others to feel like they are winning. What most people never realize is that while they are busy celebrating their small victories, the Sigma female has been quietly steering the direction of the entire game. Think about chess. A beginner may get excited about capturing a piece, believing they are ahead. Meanwhile, the experienced player knows those little moves are just distractions leading to a bigger checkmate. Sigma females operate in life the same way. They allow others to enjoy the illusion of power while carefully guiding the outcome. Take a workplace scenario. A colleague may argue loudly to get their idea chosen. The Sigma female may nod, appear agreeable, and even support it publicly. What the colleague does not know is that her subtle suggestions have already shaped how the project will unfold. When the plan succeeds, the colleague feels victorious. But in reality, it was her quiet influence that made it work. She does not need credit because the outcome itself speaks to her hidden mastery. In personal life, the same principle applies. If someone tries to dominate in conversations or decisions, she rarely pushes back openly. Instead, she asks questions that nudge the person into rethinking their stance. Over time, they end up shifting toward her perspective without even realizing it. They walk away thinking it was their own idea, when in truth, she was the one planting the seeds all along. This is not manipulation for the sake of ego. It is wisdom. Sigma females know that power does not always come from direct confrontation. Sometimes the greatest strength is letting others feel comfortable while you quietly lead them where you want them to go. People underestimate her because she does not compete loudly. But in underestimating her, they fall right into her design. This is why Sigma females rarely panic or feel threatened. They know they do not have to fight for control because they already have it. They are not chasing victory, they are shaping it. And that is why, in the end, they almost always come out ahead. Number 12. They know the power of silence and use it to draw people in. Silence can be uncomfortable for most people. Many rush to fill the gaps with chatter, explanations, or even nervous laughter. Sigma females, however, see silence as one of their greatest tools. Instead of fearing it, they use it with precision. They understand that silence can say more than words ever could, and when used at the right time, it can shift the entire dynamic of a situation. Picture a heated argument. Everyone is talking over one another, voices raised, each person trying to dominate. A Sigma female will often stay calm and quiet. She lets the noise pass over her like waves hitting a rock. Eventually, the silence she holds becomes louder than the shouting itself. People begin to notice her calmness, and when she finally speaks, all attention turns to her. Her words carry more weight precisely because she did not waste them in the chaos. In everyday conversations, silence works differently but just as powerfully. Imagine someone bragging endlessly, expecting admiration. Instead of responding with praise or fake enthusiasm, she simply listens. She gives nothing away. That silence unsettles people because it forces them to question themselves. Did they say too much? Do they sound foolish? Her quietness becomes a mirror that makes others reveal more than they intended. Silence also creates mystery. While many people feel the need to explain themselves, justify their choices, or overshare, Sigma females know that holding back draws people in. Human nature is curious. When someone is not easily read, others lean in closer, trying to figure them out. This gives Sigma females an advantage because curiosity makes people more open and vulnerable around them while they remain unreadable. Another important aspect is timing. They know that in moments when everyone expects an immediate reaction, silence can be the strongest reply. If someone tries to provoke them, they do not always respond. That quietness disarms the other person. Instead of giving them fuel, they leave them sitting in their own words. Silence makes others overthink, while she preserves her energy and control. For Sigma females, silence is not emptiness. It is presence. It is intention. It is the ability to turn the absence of words into influence. While others waste their breath proving themselves, she proves her strength by not needing to. And that is why silence, in her hands, becomes a weapon sharper than any word. In final words, the truth is, the act of being clueless is not weakness in Sigma females. It is power wrapped in silence, intelligence hidden behind a calm smile, and strategy disguised as innocence. What looks like hesitation is often calculation. What seems like passivity is usually positioning. Every move is deliberate, every pause has meaning, and every silence is an answer most people cannot hear until it is too late. Across all 20 points, one theme repeats itself. Sigma females are not playing the game everyone else is playing. While others fight for recognition, validation, or control, she is busy mastering her own lane. She knows that real strength does not shout. It whispers, it disguises itself. It allows others to underestimate it because underestimation creates the perfect opening. The world often misreads Sigma females. They assume she is lost when in truth she is 2 steps ahead. They think she is naive when she is really observing, storing details, and piecing together the bigger picture. They see her as detached when she is simply protecting her energy from noise that does not matter. And by the time people realize she was never clueless at all, the tables have already turned in her favor. This is why she is unstoppable. Not because she fights loudly, but because she fights wisely. Not because she demands respect, but because she earns it in silence. Not because she proves herself in the moment, but because she times her reveal so perfectly that it stuns everyone who doubted her. If you are a Sigma female, remember this: your quietness is not a flaw. Your ability to act unaware is not weakness. Your patience, your restraint, your choice to wait until the right moment, these are all your weapons. You do not need to chase acknowledgement. You do not need to argue with those who misjudge you. The truth always has its day, and when it does, your brilliance will be undeniable. So let them believe you are clueless. Let them assume you do not know what you are doing. Let them laugh, question, or even dismiss you, because the day will come when your actions speak louder than any defense you could ever give. And on that day, the same people who doubted you will be the ones left in awe, wondering how you managed to outsmart them without even lifting your voice. That is the quiet genius of a Sigma female. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.